Welcome back everyone to Mordor, and I have found Anath, and it looks like he is still alive. At least he looks alive to me. Let's see if he talks like he's alive.
Careful, friend. I have already drawn the ire of the orcs.
Yes, and they have sent a number of arrows my way. I returned the favor and slew two of the beasts from great range. They are remaining watchful. This was once Durthang, the fortress from which Thondream kept watch in Udum. It is called Durthang now, in mockery of the original name. It is another insult for me to avenge, and I will do it. Would you hear the tale of the Thondream? I would recount it to you so that you will know why I want Durthang taken from the orcs. The tale is emblazoned in my memory. It will be a simple matter for me to tell it to you, so well is it known to me. Alright, let's hear this little story. After the last alliance of men and elves defeated Sauron and razed his tower to the ground, a watch was placed on Gorgoroth. The men of Gondor built many fortifications within Mordor, such as the towers at the Black Gate, the Shadow Guard of Ost Dethair, and Durthang. For more than 1,000 years, the Thandri maintained the vigil on Mordor, but even the most important watchers must wane.
My tale begins more than 1,000 years ago, when the watch on Mordor had already begun to fail.
I have heard tales of the bravery of the Thandream for all my life. They were a shining light on Gondor's goodness, blazing within the shadows of Mordor. See them now, where they stand, defiant and bold. I can see it so clearly, Pineleaf. Durthang, the Black Shield, proud fortress of the Thandream. It has been assailed many times, but still it stands in defiance of Mordor. I see the features of men whose names my family honors to this day. Banor the Steadfast, who never speaks falsely. Nathan the Quick, the fighter of unmatched speed. And most clearly of all, Haladan, from whom I chase my lineage. We must not despair. That is the weapon of the enemy. Well, that's true, I guess. In Gondor today, he is known as another name. The Survivor. Well, I guess if he traces his lineage from him, that would have to be the case. 1 year before the fall of Durthang, assassins crept into the towers at Morannon. Every man of Gondor within the Morannon is slain. Banor! Haladan! We are cut off from Gondor. No one can reach us. Then we are alone. The morale of the defenders flags with these tidings. Yeah, I can see that. King Erenil tries to send reinforcements to Durthang, but they cannot pass the Black Gate. A lot of things that happen involve Erenil. Thandrim do not know this, of course. They believe themselves abandoned. Food stores run low, and hundreds fall to starvation. There are distasteful rumors, but I do not believe them. I have tarried over long in telling you my story. I will hasten to the tale. Alright. Let us go. By the onset of winter, few only among the Thandream survived. That is when the forces of Mordor came once again to Durthang. Up above! The flying beast returns! Ah, yes, we can see it. We have the Grim Southron over here. You can see concerning the timeline here. This is during the time of King Erna. He is the last king of Gondor. So therefore these towers fell just before the king himself fell, I guess. 3 only there are, but they are figures out of nightmare. 2 are the beings we have come to know as the Nazgul, the ringwraiths of Sauron. The 3rd may have been a man once, but through the foul sorceries of his master at the Dark Tower, he has become something else. He is Ugrkor, the captain of the pit. He comes now to Durthang with an offer. Yeah, the captain of the pit. He's a real nice guy. What is this you want, Earthgore? State your business and go. Where are the rest of your men? This cannot be all who remain. There are more within the keep. What do you want? These men can barely stand. Your supply of food must be gone. Or nearly so. I am moved to pity. You cannot think to hold this fortress any longer. Allow me to grant you this boon in recognition of your proud defiance. Surrender to me now. If you are a fool if you think we will. I might come back in a day with the same offer. I might come back in a month or a year. Will you still be alive to accept my offer? Surrender to me now, and I will grant you safe passage back through the Black Gate. The fortress is lost. Grant me this place, and you need not perish in its defense. Okay. Quite an offer. Moved to pity, though. That doesn't sound like the forces of Mordor, especially with someone called the captain of the pit. Should they have refused? Every man knew that Ugrkor was a liar. But the pit of despair into which they had fallen could not be surmounted. They had been hardy men once, but a year of starvation and fear must have taken its toll. No doubt their fear was made stronger by the presence of the Nazgul, but I can understand the draw of even the faintest of hopes in this dark pit. The Thandrim surrendered to Ugrkor, and Durthang was lost. And he made it out of the gate. The Thandrim cast aside their weapons, and beneath Ugrkor's watchful gaze, they marched to the Morannon, now held by the orcs. The gate opens. 60 men, all that remained of the Thandrim, passed through the gate. At a signal from Ugrkor, the archers on the walls fill the air with death. All the Thandrim were slain, save one. Why, you vile creature! They passed the Black Gate unharmed. I promised nothing afterward. Why let me live? Go to your white city. Tell them a new captain rules the pit. Real nice guy. That is the story of the Thondream, Pineleaf. Only Helanon survived, and his account is kept in the archives of Minas Tirith. It is Trenarn Bronad, the survivor's tale. I say this tale is ended, but it is not truly so, Pineleaf. Halman's descendants, the sons of the survivor, did not forget the Thondream. Neither did Ukor forget them. The years and the centuries passed. From time to time, scouts from the White City could find that Ukor had been in Gondor. He left one of the cloven shields of the Thondream behind. They were reminders of his cruelty. Even now, 1,000 years later, he leaves them still. Wow. What a nice guy! So I take it that you want this captain of the pit killed, or maybe even worse. But again, I suspect you want to be the one to do it.
And so it was, and only one of the Thondream came alive out of Mordor that day.
Helanon survived, but he was ever changed, and he swore to avenge his fallen friends and kin. He never did, but on his deathbed he asked his sons to remember what had happened at Durthang, and to swear that they would do what he had not. But the years passed, and the sons became fathers, and their sons became fathers, and they told the story of the Thondream, but they did nothing to avenge them. It seemed that Mordor and Ugrakor would escape judgment. But then it happened, Pineleaf. The hosts of the west arose and defeated Sauron's armies in battle. The borders of Mordor were breached. Sauron was destroyed. Can this be anything other than the vengeance of the Thondream, long delayed, but finally delivered? Well, I think it's a vengeance for a lot of people, but alright, and yeah, I think I'll take that.
Ugrukor betrayed the Thondream more than 1,000 years ago, but my heart tells me that he lives still.
Either through some dark art of Sauron's, or some other vile sorcery. Whatever the means of his persistence, I am glad of it, for it means he will know who is responsible for his undoing. But worry not, I am not abandoned by caution. As I know Rogrim feared, I do not want to ruin this with haste. I have seen orcs on the walls of Durthang, but not so many as must have been stationed here during the war. I think Durthang does not have as many defenders as the orcs want us to think. Let us enter the fortress and see what is going on inside Pineleaf. Defeat enemies inside Durthang, and if there are prisoners in the dungeons, we should set them free. They may know where I can find Ugrakor. Right? So that means our first thing to do is to get inside this place. I know, that's like something that one would want to do, right? Yeah. Look at this, a lovely place. 1,000 years in the hands of the enemy. It does not make it a fun place to be. At least not my definition of fun place to be. And of course this guard. You know, this is not. If he thinks that this is an orc, then he hasn't been keeping up to date. That's all I gotta say about that. That is not an orc. That is a Black Numenorian. Of course, we're not quite up to the tower yet, because there are others along the way. Now, of course, these don't count because we're not in Durthang yet. Durthang. I don't know, for some reason, I'm coming up. Whenever I think of Durthang right now, I'm thinking of first word that pops in my mind after that is Tin Fang, because we've got a character by Maven who's decided to call her High Elf Tin Fang Warble after one of the poems by Tolkien. And let's go up the stairs. And you know how much hobbits just love climbing stairs. Short feet, right? And these stairs are not only stairs, but they are, look at it. Look how wonderfully scaled they are for hobbits. Could you imagine trying to climb this? Imagine trying to climb a set of stairs that's about, say, about 2.5 feet tall for each of the steps. Imagine trying to have to do that. How do they? Yeah. See, that's how they managed to do it in the animation. See, they do it right when the animation. They just have it as a ramp, so the animation gets a little bit funny as a result of this. Because let's face it, the idea of hobbits trying to climb stairs is pretty much ridiculous. And I can understand why hobbits don't like those things. Because if everybody made their... Let's say we had all the stairs you ran into in the real world were giant size. No. People think of giants as different heights. So let's say a giant as twice the size of a normal person. So yes, a little bit small for a giant in some mythologies, but certainly will qualify as a giant in our mindset. Especially when considering that in some terms, when they use giant to mean someone just a large person, then they're usually talking about someone about maybe high 6s or 7 feet. Which essentially sounds like the average NBA team. Let's see here. Suit smudged page.
He commanded Durthang, the Black Shield, be built as an ever-vigilant watchtower of Gondor. For 16 centuries, the Thondri, its keepers, dwelt here.
Alright, so it was for 16 centuries that the Thondri was here. And now it is time for us to go inside and see what will happen. Which is what we'll do in the next episode of Pineleaf in Gondor.